Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2017 Bronx High School Valedictorian Event Program Awards. Always a pleasure to see smiling faces. It's a wonderful day. I don't care if it rains. It doesn't make a difference to us. This house, the building over to your left, is a 1758 fieldstone farmhouse. Second oldest building in the Bronx. What's the oldest building in the Bronx? Come on, one of these students have to know. What? Poe Cottage? No, that's like the third. Come on, one of you know it. Van Cortlandt House, 1748. Now this house was moved across the street, right directly across the street, in 1965 to this site, which was a parking lot. So it makes it one of the few sites in the entire country, a national landmark, and that's what this building is, that was actually moved to a parking lot as opposed to being torn down for a parking lot. So it's very important. So the ground here is not very thick. Because there was macadam right underneath, or asphalt, as I'm told I have to use the current term. Okay, we've got a quick program for you. So just follow with us, and we'll continue. First, I'd like to invite up to the podium here, Mr. Gil Walton, one of the trustees of the Bronx County Historical Society, who also has the honor of being the head of the committee that creates this event. Mr. Gil.
Just grab it. Okay, there we go. That's better. I'm a little bit taller than Doc. My name is Gil Walton, and it's my pleasure to be here to welcome the best and the brightest of our borough for the Valedictorian Awards. Our president, Jacqueline Cutner, could not be here today, but she did send out her remarks, and I'm going to read her remarks to the group. As president of the Bronx County Historical Society, I extend a hearty greeting to all the valedictorians assembled here today. We honor the best and the brightest in the Bronx every year. Why does the Bronx County Historical Society do this? We do so because we are an institution chartered by the New York State Education Department. We also perform our educational mission in a variety of other ways. The Bronx County Historical Society operates two historic house museums. One is the Valentine Variant House, which you see right here, which is open as the Museum of Bronx History. The other is the Edgar Allan Poe Cottage inside Poe Park on Grand Concourse and Kingsbridge Road. The Society has the world's largest research library devoted to the history of the Bronx, located just up the block. It's a huge collection of books, maps, periodicals, manuscripts, photographs, audio and videotapes, which are all available for public use. Nearby is the Bronx County Archives, which is also administered by the Bronx County Historical Society. The Society also has an extensive educational outreach program. Lectures on Bronx history are given in schools, libraries, senior citizens' homes, and community centers. Historic Bronx neighborhood walking tours are given all year round. Information is also mounted on the Society's own website. In addition, the Bronx County Historical Society is the most prolific publisher of books, pamphlets, and periodicals of New York City history. Therefore, it is my great pleasure to congratulate each and every one of you Bronx Valedictorians and extend the best wishes for you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Gil. And now it's my privilege to introduce the Bronx Borough President. Because the borough of the Bronx has a president. And that's very important for us to know. And one of the more active presidents of the five boroughs. So it is always a pleasure to introduce the Honorable Ruben Diaz.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm not sure if you can hear me with the system, but it's always, I have to tell you that this is one of my favorite events. First of all, let me just thank all of the good folks here at the Bronx County Historical Society. I want to thank Gary Hamlin as well as Angel Hernandez of the Society and our very own Bronx historian, Lloyd Alton. Let's give Lloyd a strong round of applause. To all of you who are here, the valedictorian and the parents, understand that the reason why this is one of my favorites is, unfortunately, I believe that we are at a societal crossroads. I believe, unfortunately, that there's a dumbing down of society. I believe that the internet, with all of the information at our fingertips, is not utilized in the way that it should be to illuminate, to stimulate us intellectually. Unfortunately, I believe that we don't take the time to celebrate intellectual excellence. And so as a borough president, a borough where so much is happening, the fact that this event has been going on for decades, and as a borough president, I'm here on behalf of 1.4 million residents to say that we're proud of you, that we celebrate you, that we expect a lot from you, that we expect you to be our future astronauts and engineers, our future elected officials and doctors and lawyers, that we expect for you to go out there and prove on many folks who are wrong, who don't perhaps accept this notion that intellectual greatness comes from the Bronx. To the parents, I want to commend you. I know that you're proud. I know that to a degree that you get a chance to exhale. As a proud father of two young men, I understand your anxiety. I understand that all you want is for your babies to be given a good opportunity to excel. And not only have they excelled, but they have done the very best. To be valedictorian, I remember back in 2010, my son was valedictorian at Karmon High School. So I know, yeah, hey, Senator Serrano. So I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly how proud you feel. And for the valedictorians, I know that you perhaps get a little embarrassed by how much your parents brag about you. Leave it alone. Let it happen. It is okay. And one of these days, yeah, right? One of these days when you're a parent, hopefully you'll experience the very same feeling. I also want to say this, that you should acknowledge that not only your grandparents and your parents, but there are many people who are relying on you, many people whose shoulders you stand on. Whether they're family members, next door neighbors, people who have been your guidance counselors and your principals and your teachers. But there are other folks that perhaps you don't even know. There are other folks who have sacrificed of themselves to pave the way. I say that because for me, one of those individuals is here today and he's going to be acknowledged. And that's none other than former Bronx Borough President Fernando Ferrer. Life is not perfect in the Bronx. But the reality is that we're doing so much better than we have done in a very long time. And that's because there were individuals way before you valedictorian were born. Many individuals who, again, sacrifice of themselves, sacrifice on being with their family members, sacrifice and agonize in the political arena to set a solid foundation so that we could be where we are today. Fernando Ferrer, he's here with his bride, Dr. Adelina Ferrer. They certainly did that. And so as we move forward, understand that this is the type of individuals whose shoulders we all stand on. And what you're doing here today and what I know you will do in the future will continue to make me, the Bronx, and people like that young man right there proud. God bless you and continue the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now let's bring up this borough historian. How many people knew there was a borough historian? But there is, and he gets nobody. It's a gratis situation. Actually, he's just very wealthy. He has everything. Professor Lloyd Alter, if you come up.
Thank you very much. I'm here to present William C. Beller Award. William C. Beller was always interested in history. He donated the Valedictorian House to the Bronx County Historical Society so that it could be preserved for future generations. It is for that reason that the Society named the William C. Beller Award in his honor. The person we honor with the William C. Beller Award today grew up on Avenue St. John in Hunts Point. He graduated from Cardinal Spellman High School, received his Bachelor of Arts degree from New York University, and his Master of Public Administration from Baruch College. He entered the New York City Council in 1982 and was so highly regarded by his colleagues that they chose him to fill the vacant post of president of the Borough of the Bronx in 1987. He was subsequently elected and re-elected to that position, serving until 2001. As Bronx Borough President, today's honoree used his skills in planning, public finance, infrastructure, and management to rally the Bronx residents and local government to work together to rebuild the Bronx from the devastation of the arson fires that had raged in the previous years when the Bronx was burning. The National Civic League recognized the borough's remarkable revival when it named Bronx County an All-America City in 1997. Today, the person we honor with the Beller Award serves as co-chairman of Mercury, a high-stakes public strategy firm, and as vice president and vice chairman and acting chairman of the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. As a good friend of the Bronx County Historical Society and for all he has done to advance the Bronx, the Bronx County Historical Society is proud to present its William C. Beller Award to the Honorable Fernando Ferrer.
Thank you, Dr. Lopez, Gary, all the members and officers of the Bronx County Historical Society, my friend, and a great borough president, Hernandez Jr. Not only for your leadership, for your very kind, generous remarks. Senator Serrano, who is doing a terrific job, as he always has in public office. I'm always glad to see him. And the best and the brightest in the Bronx are valedictorians. I was never smart enough to be valedictorian, so that's why I went into politics. And to prove I wasn't smart enough, I accepted Governor Cuomo's invitation to join the board of the Metropolitan Transportation Authority and ultimately became its acting chairman. How dumb is that? But I still have a stubborn public service gene. And we people from the Bronx, we're loyal to this place. We're loyal to the people who brought us through it. Alameda and I still live here. They're going to have to carry me out of the Bronx feet first. But I get a chance to see the young people who are going to follow us, the young people who are going to take this borough, this city and state to the next level. And when you are lucky enough to see that in the course of your life, you've got a lucky life. So, valedictorians, class of 2017, thank you for your hard work. Good luck, and we expect much of you.
This program is made possible by sponsorships in the back of your program. You can look at it. You can see all the people that have made a difference for us and for you. So we want to, well, let's give them a hand to thank you. The food that everybody's been dining on, this wasn't supposed to be lunch, but it seems to be a brunch of some sort, comes from our good friends at Arthur Avenue Caterers. And of course, you've been listening to the Senior Crew's Bronx High School of Music Quartet. Really enjoyed it. Now we come to perhaps the most enjoyable part for the whole year for us historians in the Bronx. And that is to honor you, the valedictorians of the Bronx, the best and the brightest. And it's very important that we take the time to acknowledge you. So I would ask if you could please, Mr. President, if you would step up. You have the list? I have the list here. No, we got the master list. There's always a master. There's a master list. Okay. Now, when we call your name, please come up to your left side. You'll be getting an award, and then you go up to the right side. Get that. Okay? Checks are on. Checks are here. Make sure. Circles of what? Look at that. And it's okay for you to cheer. Okay? It's the Bronx. We don't have to be so well behaved, right? We're gonna make our valedictorians cool today. It's okay to cheer. Okay? From the Academy of Mount St. Ursula, Nia Javier. From Alfred E. Smith High School, Luis Mojica. By the way, if I mispronounce your name, correct me, because you deserve for your name to be pronounced appropriately. From All Hallows Institute, Chris Agramonte. From Archimedes Academy for Math, Science, and Technology, Faith Nicholson. From Belmont Preparatory High School. Oh, no, not that one, I'm sorry. From Bronx Academy of Health Careers, Shemaila Bibi. Shemaila Bibi. From Bronx Center, from the Bronx Center for Science and Mathematics, Yuma Charlie. You telling me I skipped one?
Shania
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm I'm coachable. They told me to check, so maybe you didn't check yourself in. Okay, I'm reading off those that they checked, and then we'll make sure we get everyone. See that? Bronx parents, man. My baby's here. From Bronx High School of Science, George Stefanikis. From Bronx School for Law, Government, and Justice, Esmarlin Portis. Esmarlin. From Bronxwood Preparatory Academy, Star Simpson. Sylvia Cruz, Bronx High School of Music, Rebecca Dalla. Eagle Academy for Young Men, Carlton McKinsey. Pennsylvania Freedom High School, Mahamadou Sira. Fordham High School for the Arts, Samara McClendon. Fordham Preparatory School, Ray Williams Pedro.
It's Reed, not Ray.
Have to slow down. Okay. Do we keep it going? Okay. Metropolitan Soundview High School, Ricky Rodriguez. The Metropolitan High School, Yaritza Morales. Monroe Academy for Visual Arts and Design, Kayla Russell. Preston High School, Jasmine A. Valera. Renaissance High School, Stephanie Nasario. St. Barnabas High School, Leila Valerio. I know we have others here. Don't look at me like that, Mom. The godmother, we're coming. She lives in my building too. She lives where I live. So there are a couple of you. Seated, yes.
Come on up. It's okay. Come on up.
Shanice Thompson, Bronx Lab. Bronx Lab.
Bronx Lab.
Shanice Thompson from Bronx Lab School. Congratulations.
Antonio Jimenez.
Hold on, from Cardinal Spellman, Antonio Jimenez. Anybody else? What school? Fordham Leadership. We have Rauldo Duval. What school? School for Excellence. Give me 1 second. From the School for Excellence, Joel Rosado Ventura. From Belmont Preparatory High School, Wayla Lopez. Anyone else? Yes. From Fordham High School, we have Fordham High School for the Arts, Samara McClendon. I mentioned her.
That's it, twice. I pulled up.
You're missing your certificate.
Are we missing any other school? Yes? Anyone here? Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for our 2017. Congratulations.
Hey guys, good job. So let's talk Monday. Nice job. Thank you.
While our valedictorians are reseating themselves, one of the best things we do ladies and gentlemen, you take your seats again. One of the things we always admire at these programs is we like to have as one of our guests one of the 13 colleges and universities. The president this year will be Dr. Michael Alfotis, the president of SUNY Maritime. If you would.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know, Maritime College is for the past 70 plus years, it's called the Bronx Home. We are located in the Throgneck portion of the Bronx, right underneath the Throgneck Bridge. And I'd just like to extend my congratulations on behalf of the faculty, staff, and students of Maritime College for all the valedictorians. We are very proud of you. I just have one piece of advice. Can I have one piece of advice?
Please give through.
Okay. Piece of advice for all of you. Our commencement speaker this year reminded our students, our graduates, that you learn more, many times, in many ways, you learn more through your failures and your struggles than you do through your success. And so for valedictorians, my word of advice to you is this, you're going to find that college obviously is very, very different from high school. And for many of you, I know you can be incredibly successful in college and be successful in your careers. But for those of you who struggle, bear in mind that you learn so much through those struggles. And for those of you who may stumble and fail, you learn so much through those failures. So my encouragement to you is this, go up, do great things, be successful, but bear in mind, it's the struggle, I believe, where you learn the most. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. And now I'd like to introduce Ms. Yolanda Torres from the New York City Department of Education.
Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations to the students as well as to your parents, right, and caregivers. I bring my regrets from our Chancellor, Carmen Farina. She was not able to be here today, but she sent her congratulatory remarks to you, which we have prepared together. First of all, we're here in this magnificent landmark that celebrates a prodigious borough full of history. First of all, I would like to thank President Jacqueline Cutner, the Museum of Bronx History, and the Bronx County Historical Society for hosting this incredible event to celebrate your remarkable graduates and as valedictorians. Congratulations to you and your families. Having been a Bronx teacher, a principal, and a community superintendent, I know how amazing this accomplishment is for you, all of you, and I'm also proud to say that I'm also a former public school student, so kudos to all of us. As a Bronx native and proud Bronx resident, I am especially grateful to attend and be surrounded by such talented, bright, and hardworking students. We're here to not only honor the future leaders of the Bronx, the next James Baldwin, who attended New York City Public School in the Bronx, if you don't know that, and Sonia Sotomayor, but the future leaders of our nation. As you may know, valedictorian comes from the root words vale, vow, value, which means strength, worth, and valor. And everyone in this room who knows you can attest to the fact that it takes tremendous amounts of valor to have reached this point. You have worked hard and overcome many obstacles, as was just mentioned, and I would like to personally celebrate your accomplishments. And as you embark in your next chapter in your lives, some of you may be going off to college or beginning a career. Some of you may even be living away from home for the first time. I ask that you remember these two things. One, never forget where you came from. You are surrounded by family, teachers, and mentors, people who believe in you. And just as this team of champions was there for you to help you to get to this point and this moment in time, they will continue to be there for you. And two, I ask that you remember to strive always to be a valedictorian in everything you do. Even after today and your high school graduation ceremonies are over. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, valor means strength of mind or spirit that enables a person to encounter danger with firmness or personal bravery. Life will continue to be a tremendous journey, one with hiccups and bumps in the road, but also great victories and even more accomplishments. And through all that, I want you to remember that you have already proven that you were brave and courageous in the face of adversity, and you will continue to be. That is who you are. I leave you with this quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You will change your mind, you will change your looks, you will change your smile, laugh, and wave, but no matter what you change, you will always be you. Take this next chapter as a time to reflect on not only what you have done thus far, but what you want to do in the future. Be true to yourself, pursue your dreams, and never give up. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Curry. And now I'd like to bring up Vivian Davis, who will be helping to present the John McNamara Trustee Award. If you would, Vivian.
Good afternoon. Congratulations, valedictorians as well as parents. From time to time, the trustees of the Bronx County Historical Society bestow an award on persons who have done exceptional things. The person we honor today with the Trustees Award is a lifelong resident of the South Bronx. He graduated from Manhattan College in the Bronx and worked for the New York Shakespeare Festival before being elected to the New York City Council in 2001. There, as chairman of the Committee on Cultural Affairs, he championed the arts, libraries, and cultural institutions, fighting to restore cuts in the budget to maintain library service and to support cultural organizations. In 2004, our honoree was elected to the New York State Senate representing a diverse district straddling the Harlem River that includes large sections of northern Manhattan and the South and West Bronx. In Albany, he introduced bills that advance the arts, affordable housing, public health, economic development, immigrant rights, income equality, and the environment. He even authored a bill to make the I Love New York slogan the official state slogan. For his tireless leadership and his commitment to public service, for his continual advancement of culture and cultural institutions in the Bronx, in New York City, and in New York State, the trustees of the Bronx County Historical Society is proud to give this award to State Senator, the Honorable Jose M. Serrano.
Wow, thank
so much. This is such a tremendous honor and a privilege to be here with all of you. I would like to acknowledge the presence of my family, my beautiful wife, Bruni, and my two children, Carlos and Sophia, who are with me. Because I told them when I heard that I would be invited here today, I told them how significant this was and how much it touched me, considering how much I care about the arts and culture and the historical significance of the Bronx. It's also a tremendous honor to be with my colleagues who I respect so much. With us here we have greatness. We have Fernando Ferrer, our Bronx Borough President, and our current Bronx Borough President, Ruben Diaz Jr., who are two tremendous advocates for our borough. I'm old enough to remember when Fernando Ferrer first became our borough president back in the 1980s. The Bronx was a very different place back then. It was still beautiful and still vibrant, but it was so long neglected. And Fernando Ferrer understood the importance of not only reality, but the perception. So instantaneously, almost instantaneously, as he worked very hard on issues like affordable housing and education, he did so much to preserve landmarks, historically significant places in our borough. The Bronx County Courthouse, which went from a building covered in graffiti to one that was fully restored on the outside, because he understood that the symbolic nature was of significance to the pride of our borough. And Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr., the person who helped propel me into public life, into civic life, is someone of my generation, someone I've known since elementary school. We went to PS 31 together. And he was always someone who was a leader, whether it was in the schoolyard, with us playing tag, or football. He was always tall, so just so you know, he was always big. And we kept in touch, and I would see him, and he would say, Serrano, I think it's wonderful you work in theater, I think it's wonderful you work in the arts, but we need new people to get involved in public service. So he helped propel me into the city council back in 2001. But I'm also so proud to be in the presence of another person who I consider to be a great man, and that's Mr. Lloyd Alston. As a young boy, I'll tell you a very interesting story. I've told this to Mr. Alston before. As a young boy, my parents somehow got a copy of a book that he had recently done called A Beautiful Bronx. It was the one with the mustard-colored book jacket. I'm assuming that was late 70s. And it was this wonderful collection of historical photographs and stories about the Bronx that I grew up in, but I had no idea how it looked in the 1920s and 30s and 40s. I became enthralled with this book. My mom would conspicuously leave things like this around so that my sister and I will hopefully look through them. But through that book, I developed this real fascination for the historical significance of our borough, for the Bronx, and understanding not just where we were and hoping where we could be, but learning what we were before. And the Bronx has always been a warm and inviting place to new immigrants. It's always been a place where people came to raise their families. So being here with Mr. Alston, it really does help us understand the importance, and I thank you for planting this seed in my head many, many years ago. And finally, I want to take a moment to really thank all of the parents here and all of the honorees, the valedictorians, because this award, this honor that you're receiving today is so important. We are living in very difficult times. We are living in a time, as the Borough President Diaz said, of a sort of a stepping away from the intellectual significance of everything. It's almost a taboo to be inquisitive, to be open, to think about more of a global self than just a narrow one. The work that all of you are doing, the work that the Bronx Historical Society is doing, is preserving the cultural, historical significance of not only the Bronx, but helping to plant the seeds in all of you, just like Mr. Alston did with me. Planting the seeds in all of you to question what is happening in our society, to also fight to understand and to preserve the cultural significance. Throughout history, you should know, that the artists have usually been the ones who have had the courage to say the things that many others have not been able to say in society. That they have been the ones to critique many of the political things that have been going on at that time. The artists have been the ones to say the things that many oftentimes weren't being said. So the Bronx Historical Society talks about and preserves the cultural significance here in our borough. It is important for all of us to say that we believe in what is so important, that the cultural significance of our borough is so important. We will not step away from that. So thank you so much for this wonderful honor. It's really a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Our next awardee will be presented by Mr. Angel Hernandez.
The person we honor at this year's Businessman of the Year has a varied career. He was born in Harlem, but raised and educated in the Bronx. Graduated from DeWitt Clinton High School. He received a Bachelor of Science in Economics, degree from New York University, and a Juris Doctor degree from Howard University School of Law. A member of the New York State and federal bars, he served as an assistant district attorney in the Bronx, a law secretary in New York Civil Court, and 18 years with the American Express Company as an attorney, associate counsel, division director, and division vice president. Our honoree also engaged in several businesses of his own, often simultaneously. He practiced law with an office in the Lincoln Building, owned and operated the 22nd Restaurant, and owned and operated an A&S carriage service. He is currently the owner of McCall's Bronxwood Funeral Home, which is located not too far from here. Through the years, our Businessman of the Year has given generously of his time and his money to a variety of charitable, educational, religious, political, and athletic causes. For this, he has been deserved the recipient of many honors and awards. Thus, for all his years, serving the people of the Bronx as a lawyer and business owner, and for his deep and wide charitable commitments, the Bronx County Historical Society proudly names its 2017 Businessman of the Year, Mr. James Alston.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I want to thank the Bronx Historical Society. I was sitting there listening to that introduction. I was wondering who they were talking about. You know, it made me feel very good to be compared, to put me on a par with the people that we're really honoring today, and that's all of you students who are valedictorians. Okay? I think that is what we need to celebrate. That's why we're all here, and that's why you're surrounded by all of these dignitaries. We're all Bronxites. You know, I've spent my whole life in the Bronx, from elementary school all the way through, and have been in business at McCall's Bronxwood for over 50 years. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary this past year. I'm a bit disappointed, however, because we're giving out $50,000 in scholarships on Tuesday to 5 deserving Bronx young men and women, and none of you valedictorians applied. Now this doesn't come along every year, but in honor of our 50th anniversary, we pledged $50,000 to 5 graduating seniors. So we're just glad to be a part of whatever is necessary to foster education. As you've heard from everyone here, these are very difficult times, and as young people, I want you to do what I did and all of my generation did. Be activists. If you see something that you don't like and you don't agree with, step back, figure out what it is you don't like or don't agree with, and then do something about it. Don't just wait for someone else to do something. All right? With that, I'd like to again thank everyone for being here, congratulate the parents. You're not losing the children, you're gaining some adults. I have 4 sons, they've all been through college. They'll all come back changed. They'll all be in a position to tell you what's best for you. And not too much you say will make any difference to them. All right, but you will hear from them on a regular basis, which will be either the 30th or the 1st of every month. Okay? Congratulations. Thank you very much.
What do you think he meant by that? I'd like to introduce now Alex Wint, the community liaison for Speaker Hasty, the New York State Assembly Speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll make this very brief. Our Speaker, Carl Hasty, while he is absent today, he does send his congratulatory remarks. And I know that he is truly proud of the work that each of you has put forth today, both parents and students. So please take a moment to give yourself a round of applause. You know, I'm actually not that much older than some of you, so I can remember, yes, I know. I can remember the uncertainty of leaving high school and wondering what comes next. You know, college can be a little intimidating. The workforce can also be overwhelming. But my advice to you today is this. Draw forth from the experience and the inspiration of those around you. And whenever you feel as if the path is uncertain, just remember that you've come so far. And this is just the beginning of your journey. You know, you're still young and you have your whole lives ahead of you to figure out not only where you want to go, but who you will become. So again, congratulations, and I hope to see each of you excel. I'll definitely keep in contact with as many of you as possible. But again, congratulations.
Thank you, Alex. And now we have with us today the head of the New York City Historic House Trust, which of course nobody knows anything about. But this house is a member. And this gentleman belongs with us. John Krochek, if you would.
Good afternoon. I'm John Krochek, Executive Director of the Historic House Trust. I have a special message for you from Governor Cuomo that I'd like to read. Dear 2017 valedictorians of Bronx High Schools, congratulations on being named a valedictorian of the class of 2017. As you graduate from a high school in the Bronx. It is wonderful that the Bronx County Historical Society celebrates this very special designation at the Museum of Bronx History during their 62nd anniversary. This well-deserved honor recognizes you as one of the finest students in the Bronx and as a future leader in the Bronx community. Through outstanding academic achievement, scholarship, and excellence, you have distinguished yourselves as a dedicated young woman and young man of great promise. And I look forward to hearing of all your extraordinary accomplishments to come. On behalf of all New Yorkers, I wish you the best of luck and happiness in realizing all of your dreams and goals in further education and in a successful and rewarding career. Warmest regards, Governor Andrew M. Cuomo. And just very quickly, again, I'm John Krochek with the Historic House Trust of New York City, and we're an NYC Parks affiliated organization. And the Valentine Varian House is very proudly one of 23 historic houses in New York City. The other one you may be familiar with is the Poe Cottage on the Grand Concourse. Amongst other great Bronx houses, the Bartopel Mansion is also another one. So I just would like to welcome you to the Valedictorian House. As I said, it's one of our very special houses. The work that the Bronx County Historical Society does is quite incredible to really bring this history alive. And I think many of you have probably visited our houses, not only in the Bronx, but hopefully at some of the other sites throughout New York City. And some of the speeches I've heard have been very inspirational, actually, this afternoon, because I have chosen to pursue a career in civil service. And I know that that was emphasized by some of our earlier speakers. I've been a civil servant for 20 years, very proudly. And so I encourage you to pursue your dreams and excel in all you do. And if you do decide to pursue a career in civil service, I would really encourage that. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.
And now we'd like Ms. Tamara Boleri to come back up, and everybody should have a sheet about the words of God Bless America, because it is our tradition to sing God Bless America to conclude the 2017 Bronx High School Valedictorian Award Program. You have to sing along. It's not by a
God bless America, land that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
That concludes this wonderful event. Thank you all.